Don lives with his wife Mona, but she is an extremely controlling woman and a helicopter mother who would go to any extent to keep her perfect life in shape. She is such a control freak that she has an entire book that is fulfilled with life goals. Don runs an old furniture store with his best friend, Les. One day, a very attractive young woman named Dusty comes there for an interview. They start a chat, and Don immediately gets attracted to her. After she leaves, Les asks him to hire her so that they can have some eye candy while they work. He gets back home, and Mona asks him about the new employee. Don lies and says that it is a guy. Mona says that her parents are going to visit, so they need to get everything in order as they pay for Don's shop. At night, Don tries to get intimate with her, but she's such a paranoid woman that she schedules nights when they can get together and asks Don to help himself till then. He has no other option apart from obeying her. Don has hired Dusty as the new employee, and she is really handsy with him, which he secretly enjoys as he is deprived of any action. Les notices it, but Don says nothing much about it. One day, while going back home, a goon starts to follow him. A ruthless mob boss named Murphy is also keeping an eye on him, as they seem to have some ulterior motives. The entire family is having dinner when Mona asks her son about his French classes. He is not very sharp, and she insults him for it. Their daughter has also started to pick on and insult her brother. After the kids leave, they start to have a chat, and Don accidentally reveals that Dusty is a girl. But he skirts the issue by saying that Dusty is a single mother and there is nothing to worry about. It is the inauguration day of his furniture store, and Murphy is keeping an eye out with Freeman and Benji. Everyone is there, and Dusty is doing great at her job. Mona sees her being suggestive with her customers, which raises suspicions in her. After the program, Mona goes to his office and says that she is proud of him. She suggests having some fun, but soon changes her mind. She says that they need to wait till they get back home, but Don says that they are married and there's nothing wrong with it. He further exclaims that he is getting tired as he has needs as well, but she gets angry and leaves from there. Later that night, Don pleasures himself while looking at Dusty's picture. The next morning, Dusty goes to the store and starts to seduce Don. He tries to stop her by saying that it's wrong, but Dusty does not care about it. Throughout the day, she keeps trying to seduce him. After the shop is closed, she goes to him and says that she can't stop thinking about him. He tries his best to stop her, but ultimately fails in front of his desires. Soon, they start a full-fledged affair without Mona's knowledge. He is now a happy man and has turned his life upside down for the better. Mona has hosted a party at her house, and to Don's surprise, Dusty has come there as well. She changes into a bikini in front of everyone, and things get awkward. Mona and Dusty meet for the first time, and she keeps giving her backhanded compliments. Don gets back inside, and Dusty comes there as well. She starts to get frisky with him, but he begs her to leave. She says that she had something important to say, and that's why she came there. She says that she is pregnant, which absolutely shocks Don. He expects her to get an abortion, but she says that she wants to have a child. He confesses everything to Les in the evening. Les asks him to offer her some money and asks her to get away as soon as possible. Don says that he does not have enough money, but Les says that he will help Don with it. It's the night that Don and Mona are supposed to get intimate. Mona tries to seduce him, but Don is too distracted and pulls away from her. Dusty gets back home and feels someone's presence inside. Murphy gets there at that point, and it is revealed that he is Dusty's partner, and it was their plan all along to trap Don and extort money from him. The next morning, he goes to the office and offers $13,000. Dusty cries and says that it is not enough and she needs more money. She also threatens him and says that if he does not give her enough money, she will tell his wife. He tells Les everything, and he suggests coming clean to Mona. He says that there is no guarantee that the blackmailing would stop after he has paid her off. At night, Don decides to confess everything to Mona. He tells Mona everything and says that he regrets ever having the affair. Mona does not say anything and leaves the room. She comes back with the picture book and asks if anybody knows about it, and he says no. She says that they cannot lose their reputation in society, and he needs to kill her. He is shocked and says that he can't do something like that, but she says that he does not have another option. On the other hand, Dusty tells Murphy that she believes that Don is out of money, but Murphy gets aggressive with her and says she is becoming soft and orders her to get more money from him. Mona has lost her shit and asks him to man up for once and get the job done. At that moment, he gets a call from Dusty and picks it up and puts it on speaker. Dusty says that it is not enough and she needs more money. Don offers her $25,000 and asks her to be in the store at night, after which Mona manipulates him and says that this is his only chance at life. The next morning, she prepares a bunch of medicine and asks Don to spike Dusty's drink. Dusty comes to the shop in the evening, and Don asks her to sit down. He offers her a drink and says that it is the last time that they will be together. Dusty chugs it in a second, and Don starts to panic. Soon, she starts to have a headache and figures that he has sedated her. She tries to leave the shop, but the door is locked. She even tries to put up a fight with Don and injure his arm, but soon falls unconscious. Just then, Mona comes there and says that she will take care of the rest. They get back home with Dusty in their trunk, but unfortunately, she is still alive and Mona asks Dawn to finish her up. Dawn starts to panic even more, and having no other way, Mona takes a hammer and finishes her. Murphy tells Freeman that he can feel it in his bones that something is wrong with Dusty. But Mona is not fazed at all, and she changes into a raincoat. She didn't start to dismember her body so they could get rid of it easily. She is done with her job, and Dawn is shocked to see how calm she is about the entire situation. The next morning, Les is on his way to the shop, but he gets jumped by Murphy and his gang. Dawn goes to the shop and sees that the cops are there. Les tells him about the incident, but he did not recognize anyone. The cop asks Dawn about his hand, but he says that it was a small accident. The cop then shocks Dawn and asks him about Dusty. He says that they found her car, but someone set it on fire, and everything that was in there is now completely destroyed. She has also been missing for some time, but they're trying their level best to investigate the situation. Les asks him about what happened, and he says that he came clean about everything to Mona, and she did forgive him, which shocks him. Dawn calls Mona and starts to argue because he is shit scared. Just then, the cop comes there and hears him. Finally, Dawn has gathered some courage and says that he was talking to a client. One day, Dawn sees Murphy pulling up in front of his house and talking to his son. He immediately runs out, and his son hands him some things. It is a picture of Mona indicating that they have been following her, and with that, there is a note asking him to meet Murphy at a bar nearby. Dawn tells Mona everything, and she figures that Dusty was involved with these guys. She says that they need to deal with the guys as well, otherwise they could harm their family. In the evening, Dawn goes to the strip club and meets with Murphy and his gang. Murphy asks him about Dusty, but he confidently says that he knows nothing about her. Murphy says that she ran away with his money, so now Dawn must pay him off, otherwise he will track his entire family down and assault them. He also forces Dawn to get high on drugs with them, and he obliges. Dawn comes out of there completely wasted, and Mona is waiting for him. He tells her everything and says that the goons want $20,000. Mona hears everything, and a plan pops up in her mind. She says that they need to dig up Dusty's remains. At night, they reach Freeman's place, and seeing Dawn scared again, Mona decides that she will take matters into her own hands and goes inside. She starts to place some things inside the fridge, but just then Freeman gets back home with a girl. Dawn tries to call her up, but she has left her phone in the car. They get inside the house, and Mona somehow manages to hide with a knife. Freeman goes inside to get some drugs, and seizing this opportunity, Mona tries to leave. But before she can do that, the girl comes there and starts to dance with her. Freeman also gets inside the room and recognizes her. He's about to choke her, but she keeps on stabbing him until he loses control. And after that, she takes a sword and slices the girl off. She gets out of the house and uses a new number to call the cops and says that they noticed some disturbance in Freeman's house. Freeman calls Murphy and says that Mona came there and attacked them, and he's on the verge of death. After going back home, Mona burns all the things and takes a shower to clean herself. Murphy gets to Freeman's house and finds him dead. He is shocked to see what Mona is capable of. But to add to his misery, he finds Dusty's decapitated head inside the freezer. He figures that it is a trap, but before they can do anything, the cops come there and shoot one of the guys. But Murphy somehow manages to save himself and escape through an underground door. The next morning, the cop comes by Don's house and tells him that Dusty is dead. He tells Don about the entire scenario that transpired last night, and he is shocked to hear about the brutality Mona has caused. Just then, the neighbor's dog runs inside their home, and they come to pick it up. Mona gets out with the dog and threatens them by saying that next time the dog gets inside the house, he'll not be able to make it out. After she leaves, the cop says that some people saw him inside the strip club. Don has no other way, so he says that he was having an affair with Dusty, but it was over before she went missing. The cop also believes the same and says that Murphy was the one who killed Dusty, and they will catch him as soon as possible. At night, while they are in their room, Don asks Mona what the deal is with her. He asks if she had a tough childhood, which made her like that. For the first time, Mona breaks down and says that her parents always wanted a perfect family, and that's why they made sure that she never stepped out of line, which in turn made her become like this. She hugs Don as it consoles her, but her demeanor changes all of a sudden. She says that if he tries to bring out this side of her again, then she will destroy him. She sits by the bed and takes out her journal and tells Don that the next morning they have a party and they need to make sure that it is better than everyone else. The next morning, Don opens the freezer and finds the neighbor's dog inside, completely frozen. He goes outside and sees that Mona is misbehaving with Les's son. But it does not stop there. She even humiliates Les and his wife in front of everyone and makes them leave. She asks her son to break a piñata, but when he fails, she gives the job to her daughter, who does it successfully. Both of them then humiliate the son in front of everyone, which completely shatters him. Don figures that Mona is a monster and he needs to get rid of her, so she does not ruin any more lives. He gets inside the garage, cuts the electricity line, and leaks a gas cylinder. He then asks Mona to get some ice from the garage, but before she leaves, He says that he loves her. He leaves with his son, and when Mona goes inside the room, the electricity sparks and the garage explodes, putting an end to her. It's been some time since her death, but Don is living happily with their kids. But what he does not know is that Murphy is following them. So, that was the recap for the 2015 movie Home Sweet Hell. For more recaps like this, stay subscribed to the channel. And if you have liked this video, you may also like this.